Hey guys, RDX here, and welcome to the Morphtronic deck build profile for 2014. Just generally what I use. So yeah, let's get started. Triple Sulfon, that's the main search for the deck. That will pretty much get any of the other Morphtronics out. It's plain and simple. Need 3 of them because search power. Triple Scopin, basically your main tuner of the deck, easy power tool. You know, that plus triple boomboxing is what I've got here. That's again, that goes for your power tool, or if you want to go for, say your opponent's stopping you from special summoning a power tool, you go for that, increase its attack to like 4,000, you can attack twice per turn. Easy OTK with that. Next we got double Radion. This is another search for Scopin or for Sulfon. And it gives all Morphtronics 800, so it's an 800 beta that boosts the other attack. Next, double Lantron. That's for your going for rank 5, level 5s, or going for Shooting Star, as you do. You know, level 1, that plus Sulfon goes for Formula Synchron. And then another monster, Borden. That one's kind of situational because it requires you to actually have monsters that you can attack directly with properly, but it's also a good defender as well because it's got 1800 defense, and it's good for defending all the other Morphtronics, and one Effect Veiler because Effect Veiler. Alright, now we'll move on to the spells, and first of all, triple mage power. So as soon as you're going to be going for a power tool quite a lot, or trying to boost your attack, you want to have triple mage power because you can have a lot of either equipped spells or some traps that, you know, lock your opponent down or stuff like that. Next, double gravity blaster. Brilliant for battle phase effects because it just straight up negates them, and it gives you a permanent boost to 400, which is alright-ish. Next, United We Stand. You're going to be field swarming a lot, so I mean, you may as well have a United We Stand in there. Next up, we got Power Pickaxe. For decks that like to have stuff in the grave, and it's, you know, gains 500, because you banish any card from their grave, any monster from their graveyard of lower level, so power tool, lower than 7, bye-bye to it. Next up, triple MST. Yeah, MST, you know, obvious. Morphtronic Accelerator. Basically, it's a free kill, and it gets rid of cards you don't want in your hand. Say you've got a Borden in your hand, you don't want to use it. Morphtronic Accelerator, get that away, and then you get something else back, you know, you get the draw card. So, why not? Machine Dupe, that's for Sulfon. Get it, triple Sulfon out in field. It's field swarm for days. Pot Duality, for if you've got a terrible hand and you need to just, like, draw, you know, it's there. You need to find out something like that. Morphtronic Map. The deck relies around battle positions, and if you can change your opponent's battle position loads of times, all Morphtronic monsters gain 300 for each counter on it. And if somebody destroys it, get a free Morphtronic back from the graveyard, which is always helpful because you're either going to be having your Sulfons destroyed or using them for synchros and such. Next, Forbidden Chalice. Another Effect Veiler. It's alright, you know. So I guess the DD Battlefield. The reason why I run this is because I only use 2 XCs in the deck, and the meta these days is quite heavily XC based. So, you know, that extra 500 damage at the end phase, and every time they summon, you know, 1,000 damage in one turn and 500 for the other. Dark Hole, you know, you got nothing, they've got stuff, just nuke the field. Next up for the traps, Morphtronic Bind ×2. Oh, forgot to move the spells out of the way, give me a second. Morphtronic Bind ×2. Basically, you'll lock up the deck because it stops level 4s from changing battle position or attacking. Well, you got Morphtronic Monster. So, I mean, you could argue that level limits, you know, they're better, but that is a Morphtronic card, so it can be used with Morphtronic Accelerator. So, if you don't have any Morphtronics in your hand and you want to get rid of it, just away with it, and then, you know. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, because you're going to be taking a lot to the face unless you, like, because of Sulfon, unless you stop those attacks. you need the Scarecrow in for stopping the attacks. Soul Drain. You don't use stuff in the graveyard or banish that much. And, you know, I mean, against decks that do, such as, I don't know, like Lightsworn maybe, what do you call it, Dark Worlds, it's a good counter to them. And I main deck it because, why not? I mean, I'm not using anything in the graveyard. Compulse is just, well, Compulse, you know. Mirror Force, people aren't expecting that many Mirror Forces these days, so I'd run one just to catch them off guard every now and then. Draining Shield, again, because you're going to be taking a lot of life points to the face, you want to be able to get some of it back. Morphtronic Force Field, because if they go for a Dark Hole, you negate it with Force Field, and it just basically makes them bugger over. And you get a free Morphtronic card to your hand. Solemn Warning, stop their big plays, you know. Divine Wrath, most of the well, almost all the cards nowadays are effect cards, and if you want to use it at the right time, it can be brilliant. You can stop a combo that they would have done, or something like that. Wiretap, because if they want to activate a trap and you don't like it, just say no to it. Magic Cylinder, again, because battle traps, people aren't expecting them today, and, you know, people are always going to be trying to attack you, especially over your weak self-on, so that's another protection for it. And finally, for the main deck, Macrocosmos. This is because it hurts a lot of decks when they have stuff banished. Like Boojins, for instance. If you banish all of their cards, they've got nothing, which is brilliant. However, I mean, some decks do benefit from it, and this deck, it doesn't hurt or benefit from it. I mean, it's no cards in the graveyard that really use their effects. Right, now on to the extra deck. One Formula Synchron, again for your Shooting Star. I might consider adding another one because of the new ban list, but I don't know at the moment. Catastor. Catastor, just generic rank 5, you know, it's good for against non-dark decks, if you're going against Boojins or Lightsworn, Constellar, stuff like that, you know. Power Tool Mecha, just because, I mean, if you want to have, if the situation demands that you draw that, plus the next 3 cards, would be brilliant. Triple Power Tool, as you can see. That's your main card of the deck, other than the actual Morphtronics. That is the card you're going to be going for 90% of the time, if you can. I mean, it's, if you can get it enough equip spells on the field at once, you can have it to as much attack as you want, almost. Next, Black Rose, you know, just generic nuke the field, rank 7. If they've got stuff on the field, you can recover from a Black Rose, you go for it, and then, yeah. Stardust Dragon, it's Stardust, and again you use it for Shooting Star. Crimson Blader stops a lot of decks from pulling off the plays they want to. Take E-Drags for instance. I mean, if you get rid of their ability to special summon them, you've pretty much won against them. Livestream, I don't use him as much, but he's in the deck because he is. You know, you can use Power Tool with him. I mean, why not? Red Dragon Archfiend, again, that 3000 attack for rank 8 is good if you want to get over stuff that you can't normally get over, or if they've playing against Ghost Tricks and stuff like that, and your Power Tool is not really going to do much. Use Red Dragon Archfiend, just wipe their entire field. Shooting Star Dragon, that's another one of your main plays, if you can. I've done it a few times. I mean, it's not as super consistent as Power Tool, for instance, but, you know, it's worth a shot. Star Eater, because sometimes you can swarm the field and get that 11 star out. Next up for the XEs, we have Zemains. Run a lot of rank 3s, and, you know, Zemains is Zemains. I mean, it's a good card. And finally, for the extra deck, Gear Gigant X. It allows you to search out monsters you need. Say you've got a Scorpion in your hand, but you don't have any Boomboxins anywhere, or, yeah, Boomboxins, because it's machine types and thingy's not a machine. Yeah, so that's the extra deck. Next, we have Getsu Fuma, or Fuhuma, whatever you want to call it. Basically against zombies and warrior type decks. Oh no, sorry, zombies and fiend type decks. You know, it works quite well. Next up, Giant Rat. Most of the key monsters in the deck are Earth, such as Scopin, Selfon and Boomboxin. So it's a good card to have in there. If your opponent is very heavy like battle orientated and they want to destroy all your cards at once, you know, that's how you run it. You can also do that. You can think Geargigant can do it. Yep, Geargigant can add a gearbox to your hand, and yeah, then you can add then you can add something back from your deck to your hand. Yep, then I run 2 Machina Armoured Unit. Again, for decks that are heavy or battle orientated, you just do that to them and then, you know, you get 2 free searches off them. Next, Magnet Circle. For if you need to, like, if you're feeling that the deck isn't as consistent as you'd like it to be, you can add that in so you can special summon that extra Self-On or that Lantron just to make sure you can go for your shooting star play. Magical Mallet. For if you've got a bad hand, if you feel like you're getting bad hands and you just want to have new cards in your hand, no, it's alright. Junk Box. The Call of the Haunted / Monster Reborn of the deck. However, it does destroy during the end phase, which is a tad bit unfortunate. But normally, if you're going to be doing that, you're going to be going for something like a Self-On or a Boomboxing / Scoping and going for either an XC or a Synchro Summon. Vylon Matter. There is a lot of equip spells in this deck, so this card really helps when, if they get rid of your power tool, you can just recycle all your equip spells. Metal Silver Armor and Rod of Silence Chaos. These two work quite well together because they say that your opponent cannot use any spell, trap, or monster card that does specifically targets one monster, including monsters in the graveyard, other than equipped monster, and negate the effect of a spell card, excluding this card, that targets the equipped monster. So those two work together quite well, and if your opponent's using a lot of stuff that like targets you, you know, it's the way to go. 1 Day of Peace. If your opponent is very, again, battle orientated and does a lot of damage to you, or if you're facing a burn deck, that can be useful against a burn deck because neither your plate takes any damage at all. Morphtronic Monotron. For stuff that's, you know, like Ghost Tricks, you can change battle position on summon so they can't like flip and stuff like that. And finally, Karakuri Shogun Model 00, that. I'm not sure how you say that. Again, for if you're facing a deck that's like a Marshmallow type style, you want them to have it in attack position, so that way you can do that. So then, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and give me any suggestions you want in the comments. Leave a like, rate, comment, and subscribe if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. And Arctic X Cheetah, signing out.